You can always count on Bud Light, just like you can always count on Always Game Gary. No bar is too far. No wing sauce is too hot. Not for Gary. Always Game Gary is famous among friends. He deserves a Bud Light. Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, AB St. Louis, Missouri.
We're at the top 10, y'all. Top 10 blackest moments in 2017 in sports. Quick review of the top 20. Savannah State winning cheer sport. Nigel Hayes taking on the NCAA. Ibtihaj Muhammad getting her own Barbie. Charles Oakley going nuts at MSG. Sloane Stephens with the Instagram of the year secured the bag. Chance and Quavo's photo of them shooting hoops with Offset on the side. Carla Williams becoming the AD at UVA. Jimmy Butler giving out his phone number on national television. Myron Rolle graduating from med school. And Giffen Gope getting to the bigs and getting a hit in his first big league at bat. Probably the highlight of the Pirates season. On the number 10, Kyle Lowry. Some of you might remember when President Donald Trump decided that he wanted to try to ban Muslims from entering this nation. If you don't remember that, go ahead and bang that Google. Kyle Lowry was asked about it. After a game, he just said straight up a word that I can't say on this family of networks, but he said it's BS. He expounded on that a little bit. I think this, I think that is BS, and he didn't say BS. And then when he was asked by the friendly Canadian media if he wanted to, quote, clean that up a little bit, you know what he said? Nah, I'm good. It was a heck of a moment because we all know Kyle Lowry is sort of a nice guy, to be honest. You've seen those bits of him with his kids as a dad. You know, he's not exactly a Patrick Beverly type or anything like that on the court. I'm not saying he's some pushover. That's not what I'm getting at. But he is a generally affable dude as far as his personality was concerned. So when he came out and took that stance and then hit him with the, I said what I said, it was a great moment. Number 9. For those of you who are footy fans, you might remember a moment in 1999 went down in the Rose Bowl where Brandi Chastain scored a penalty kick to win the Women's World Cup. They were playing against China, sealed the deal, one of the most iconic moments in American sports. Some of you might forget that the play before that was one Brianna Scurry saving a PK. Some of you, if you want to get real into the interior chalk talk of the legality of that play and the step out, you can, but I don't care, made the save. That allowed for that play coming up with Brandi Chastain. Brianna obviously was the goalkeeper for the U.S. women's national team for years. Went on to play later in professional women's football, soccer, if you will, here in the U.S. And her career ended up getting derailed by concussions, and her story about that now is really quite something. If you look up Brianna Scurry and sort of see what she went through, she is now an advocate for brain injuries and sort of how, deal with those within athletes. It's really quite remarkable how she's managed to maintain all these years. Long story short, she was elected to the National Soccer Hall of Fame this year. First black woman to do so. Long time coming, well deserved. Shouts to Brianna Scurry. Number 8, Claire Smith. Some of you might not know who Claire Smith is. Frankly, if you're listening to this program, and that's not a shot at anybody in the Dan Le Batard Show listening audience, that's just a reference to the demographics. Claire Smith was a sports writer, the first woman to ever be a full-time sports writer on an MLB beat. Never mind black woman. Claire Smith was given the J.G. Taylor Spink Award. That's what they give out at the Hall of Fame ceremony this year. It's the top honor for a baseball writer. The story that you guys might have heard about her, Claire Smith, is that back in the day when she was covering the Padres, I believe it was, you got a lot of flack for being a woman in the locker room. And that grind of covering a beat in baseball is no joke, Playboy. Understand that. Steve Garvey said, you know what? I don't care what any of these idiots have to say. I'll give you all the time you need until you get your job done. That laid down the line and set the tone for how a lot of other athletes were going to treat her going forward. She now works at ESPN, but she is known in baseball circles as a pioneer. She got an award that said as much this year. Once again, shout out to Claire Smith. Number 7, I mean, you know who it had to be. It's definitely Beast Mode. Now, this is where we get into the territory of individuals who have multiple accomplishments on the year that we're just going to highlight as one entry. So don't get bent out of shape about that. I mean, let's not forget what kind of year Marshawn has had. Never mind the reality show, which is incredible. If you have not seen Marshawn Lynch's reality show, it's insanely good. There's a hilarious clip where somebody asks him, would you play tennis against a pregnant Serena Williams? He goes, no, I wouldn't. That's an unfair advantage. And the lady says, well, why? Because she's pregnant? He goes, no, because it's Serena Williams. What is wrong with you? It's very funny. More on her later. There's also the clip of him earlier in the season dancing on the sidelines, Oakland style, when they were whooping up on the Jets. A lot of people on the Jets got mad. Oaktown loved it. I love this move of Marshawn coming back to his hometown. There was a time when I thought that was going to lead them to the Super Bowl before the season. But let's be real. The blackest thing that I've seen out of a lot of people this year that he did, though, was in a preseason game in Oakland where my man walked out on the field eating some chicken wings. That might have been the most glorious thing I've ever seen in my life. He just said, you know what? Because he was hiding behind a side thing right quick, and somebody was clearly filming it, and there was a security guy there. And once he realized he was being filmed, he said, forget it. I'll just take these out on the field. Just Cole eating chicken wings right on the field. What a glorious, beautiful thing. I love Marshawn Lynch. Marshawn Lynch is in the nothing not to like category on many levels for me. Number 6, mind you, we're reviewing the top 20 blackest moments in sports in 2017 here on the Dan Le Batard Show. Number 6, look, I know he works for a rival network. I understand that. But dog, Shannon Sharpe, I mean, what are we talking about here? Shannon Sharpe has been bringing the noise on multiple levels regarding a lot of different things in this country issues-wise. And, of course, Miles and that yak. I mean, look, go to your YouTube right now. And by right now, I mean during the break. Or whenever you get some time. And hit up Miles and that yak. Shannon Sharpe out here talking about what he does on Victory Sundays. With his cognac, his Hennessy, and his Black & Milds. My man was on national TV with a Black & Mild in his mouth. There's nothing else to say. I mean, there is literally nothing else to say. That had an outside argument for number 1. I mean, that's number 6 in the college football rankings, if you will, in terms of you might deserve a shot at the national title. I want to go see Black Panther with Shannon Sharpe. I'm going to find a way to make that happen.
Hi, everyone. Stu Gatz here. Support for the Dan Le Batard Show podcast comes from our friends at Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Chances are you're confident when it comes to your work, your hobbies, and your life. Rocket Mortgage gives you that same level of confidence when it comes to buying a home or refinancing your existing home loan. With Rocket Mortgage, you can apply simply and understand fully so you can mortgage confidently. To get started, go to rocketmortgage.com/Stugotz, STUGOTZ, equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states, NMLSconsumeraccess.org number 3030.
We've been counting down the top 20 blackest moments in sports of 2017. Quick review. Number 20, Savannah State wins cheer sport. Number 19, Nigel Hayes takes on the NCAA. That actually happened last year, but he played in the tournament this year, so he was both playing in the tournament while he had them in federal court. Ibtihaj Muhammad, number 18, gets a Barbie in her likeness. Number 17, Oakley goes nuts at MSG. Number 16, Sloane Stevens in her Secure the Bag Instagram post. Number 15, Chance the Rapper and Quavo stunting, shooting hoops at a tour stop. Number 14, Carla Williams named AD at UVA. Number 13, Jimmy Butler giving out his phone number on national television. Number 12, Myron Rolle graduates from medical school. Number 11, Gifton Gopek gets to the majors and gets a big league hit. Number 10, Kyle Lowry decides he's just going to tell the world what he feels about Donald Trump, and he's not going to apologize. Number 9, Brianna Scary gets into the National Soccer Hall of Fame. Number 8, Claire Smith, awarded during Hall of Fame week in Cooperstown. Number 7, Marshawn Lynch and his general existence. And number 6, Shannon Sharp, miles in that yak. Number 5. Now, this is sort of a difficult one because it encompasses a lot of things that are a little different. And it's basically Obama leaving office. Now, when Obama left office, he had obviously fielded a lot of teams. You know, championship teams go to the White House and so on and so forth. And, you know, he meets a lot of athletes just as a matter of course. Of course, his history with this network is well known. He used to do the brackets with Andy Katz. And there was 2 particular moments, though, that stood out to me. And number 1 was this one photo / painting, drawing, or what have you, that Kawhi Leonard posted. It's of him presenting 44 with a signed basketball from the whole team. You can see the squad looking on. It's sort of a stylized picture that looks kind of like a painting that's done from a photorealism standpoint. And he has the caption, "One of my greatest experiences." It's a pretty cool moment. You can see how much this means to him. And he's sort of, there's a sort of a regal element to how this looks in a certain way, which is a little awkward, but that's what it is. And that was one moment that stood out to me, sort of how much this meant to a guy like Kawhi, a guy who doesn't talk a whole lot. You don't hear him out in these streets very much, but this is obviously a big moment to him. The other part of that entry is obviously my man Dexter Fowler. You might recall Dexter Fowler of Game 7, 2016 World Series fame, going bing bang right off top, which was incredible. But when he went to the White House with the Cubs, he brought my man a pair of custom Jordan brand sneakers. I mean, think about that. You got one move and you're going to the White House and you bring your mans some POTUS Jordans? Yo, I'm going to D.C., fam. Who's this? It's Dexter Fowler. I need some 44 J's. What? You're the J's guy, right? Yeah, I'm the J's guy. I need some 44 J's. You need 44? Nah, man, 44. You know, the president. Oh, him. Yeah, I need some J's 44. Okay, I got you, fam. He shows up with the custom box. They're the black joints with the patent leather, and they're fly. What a moment. I'm sure Obama must have been thinking, dag, I didn't know you were moving like that, Dexter. They're pretty dope. The box is cool. Shoes are cool. It was a great move. So that's number 5. Obama leaving the White House and what that meant to a couple different people. Number 4, y'all hate him. Y'all don't like him. But y'all got to deal with him. Undefeated, never lost. It's LeVar Ball and the Ball family. Let's review their year. Lonzo gets drafted. Family launches reality show. LaMelo gets his own shoe. Then he drops an N-bomb on a WWE broadcast. Side element that I know you forgot about. Then LiAngelo gets in house arrest in China. Under house arrest in China. And then LeVar manages to mix it up with the President of the United States of America. I mean, look. I don't know about you, but that's a pretty big year overall for the Ball family. Y'all can call me up on the phone. Y'all can get on my Twitter feed with all your nonsense about why you don't like him. We know why. But they had a big year. Period. The Ball family is on the map in a major way. And don't tell me about how he's exploiting his kids until you're ready to talk to me about Kris Jenner, because they ain't doing that either. That's what's called making money in America. Believe that. Anyway, LeVar Ball, big year. Ball family, big year. We still got a month left, and you know how they move in the news cycle, so we'll see how that goes. Number 3, This might come to us as a surprise to some of y'all, but this was borderline going to be number one. I was talking to Dominique Foxworth, my co-host on the Morning Roast, along with Mina Kimes on ESPN Radio. You hear him on this program a lot. That being the Dan Le Batard Show. I'm Clinton Yates filling in. And I said, yo, this was going to be number one. He was like, come on, man. I said, yeah, look, when I decided to make this list, it was basically centered around the fact that I kind of wanted this to be number one. But ultimately, I realized I was irresponsible and stupid. But it's Aqib Talib snatching Michael Crabtree's chain on the field. I mean, that's one of the blackest things I've seen of all time. For those of you who don't understand, that was not just your garden variety prank. That was an absolutely disrespectful move on every single level. The move was so black, the refs didn't even know how to handle it. He didn't even get flagged. Because what you going to flag? Excessive blackness? I mean, this is a flag. We've seen this before. But they don't say that. My man just cold yanked his chain on the field. Crabtree was shocked, as he should have been. Aqib Talib was laughing. You don't mess with Aqib Talib. Aqib Talib is insert any qualifier you want. About that action. Stay ready all-star. Shouts to Bo and Shannon. Member of the Hands community. Member of the Ratchet community, if you know what I'm saying. You ain't messing with Aqib Talib. Period. Or anybody in his family for that matter either. That's number 3. Number 2 is my favorite athlete of all time, Serena Williams. First of all, she won her 10th Grand Slam since turning 30 when she banged out the Aussie earlier in the year. Next closest person has 3, just so you understand where her records are living at. Then there had a nice little moment where she showed up to that court with a couple of rando bros just to hit some balls, walking around with her man and her dog. She said, hey, guys, you want to hit? They were like, yeah, whatever, when we're done. They came over. It was Serena. They were like, yo, hold up. Yes, you need a racket? Yada, yada. She went out there in Ugg boots, hit it with those Bamas. Unbelievable moment. Then she was on Vanity Fair in all of her gloriousness. Pregnant. Great story as well. Then she had the baby, Alexis Olympia. If you haven't seen that Gatorade commercial for her, it's incredible. She did that lovely Snapchat story as a dedication to her daughter. I mean, she's just had an incredible year. She's a very inspirational figure, period. Never mind the best tennis player of all time. Don't at me. Oh, yeah, and then she revealed all the wedding details that she had, which is incredible. Had a different trophy of a Grand Slam win on all her different tables for the guests. Your fave could never. Literally. On the other side, got Dan Graziano. We're going to talk a little NFL. Back end, we're going to get to the number 1.
Hey girl, have you done something new with your scales? Using new moisturizer? Nice. It really brings out the hazel in your eyes. Oh, hold on. Are you using whitening strips too? Your fangs look good, girl. Really good.
A really charming snake charmer? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much you could save by switching to Geico.
Wait, what? Have you been doing Pilates too?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Right now, we're joined by Dan Graziano, ESPN NFL insider. How you doing, Dan?
I'm good, but I'm not going to make you top 20. That's for sure.
All good, man. I just wanted to say there were 3 games yesterday. I just want to ask you off top, what did you think was the best game? Because I don't feel like we learned a whole ton in the NFL yesterday.
I think the first game was the best game in terms of entertainment value, and it's always good to get Matt Stafford behind and have him play from behind. That's when he's at his most fun, whether he can make it all the way back or not. But you watch the way the Vikings are operating this offense right now with their third-string quarterback and their second and third-string running backs. It's amazing what they're doing, and that was a huge game because had they lost it, then Detroit may be in the driver's seat for the division, and now it's clearly Minnesota. And I think that was the game that had the most impact. I mean, look, Dallas is in bad shape, as we know. Unfortunately for them, they don't have their team right now. And I think the Chargers are, living up to their name a little bit and making a charge after a rotten start. If the Chiefs continue to leak oil, then that division might even be gettable. But so that game has some potential impact. But I think the first one was the big one because, that NFC North with no Aaron Rodgers, Minnesota thinking it might be able to cash in a big opportunity, and then doing it with Case Keenum once again, just really remarkable.
All right, let's dig into that first game then a little bit. Case Keenum.
All right.
Tremendous NFL quarterback. Not a sentence I ever thought I would say, number one. And number two, how good are the Vikings really? I mean, this is a situation where do you see them in a deep playoff run, or are they simply a team that has taken advantage of the opportunities that have been put in front of them?
Yeah, just look at the program there under Mike Zimmer, right? 2 years ago, in 2015, they win the division against a Green Bay team that had a healthy Aaron Rodgers, beat them on the last day to win the division. Had Seattle on the ropes and would have advanced in the playoffs if Blair Walsh hadn't missed a field goal, a makeable field goal. So this isn't some out-of-nowhere team. Last year they start 5-0, and then all of a sudden all their offensive tackles are hurt. They can't protect Sam Bradford. The whole season falls apart. So over the past 3 seasons, there's been a lot more good than bad with the Minnesota Vikings, and I think they believe that they especially the way their defense has consistently performed at a high level, they believe that they're equipped to make a playoff run. Now, look, you look and I look and we say, can the quarterback do it? He's doing it right now. Can he do it in playoff games? Can he elevate his game the way we've seen quarterbacks have to over the course of recent history? We won't know. And you certainly would bet the other way given Case Keenum's history or lack thereof. But they believe that they can run the ball. They believe they can play lockdown defense. They are protecting him very well. Yesterday was only the second time in the last 7 games that he took a sack. And they really feel like if things were to fall apart with Keenum, they'd feel good about putting Teddy Bridgewater in. So they're in a real good spot right now.
That is kind of unbelievable to me that they feel good about putting Teddy Bridgewater in, but that's a whole other
they're watching him practice. They see it. I mean, and they believe that he's got more to offer than what he's shown, and they think they can protect him better than they've been able to in the past. So we'll see.
Dan Graziano, ESPN NFL Insider, joins us here on the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz on ESPN Radio. Get instant gold status at Shell. Join the Fuel Rewards program now at fuelrewards.com/gold. I'm Clinton Yates filling in here on a Black Friday. Let's move to the second game, Chargers-Cowboys. The Cowboys looked awful in many parts of the game. Jerry Jones even got into the discussion about Jason Garrett. Are the wheels going to fall completely off of this team before the end of the season, Dan?
I think they have, or at least a couple of them have, and I think when they don't have Ezekiel Elliott, everything changes. People don't want to hear it. Other teams lose their running back. Look, if you watch the film of the Cowboys with Ezekiel Elliott in there, you see 8-9 guys in the box, and obviously that opens things up for Dak Prescott. And Elliott's having success in spite of that. Alfred Morris is the running back. You don't see the defenses play them the same way. Everything changes. Everything's different. The fact that Morris can have success running the ball doesn't automatically mean, that Elliott's interchangeable. And then you look at the flip side on defense. Sean Lee is the engine that makes that defense go. They've always had more success when he's been able to be on the field. He hasn't been on the field the last couple of games. They missed Tyron Smith, their left tackle, for 2 straight games. He came back yesterday, but he's not 100%. These all sound like excuses, but they're really explanations. They don't have their team. And I think, if you really listen to what Jerry Jones said after the game about Garrett, he's saying, look, I have confidence. And what he's saying is, like, over the years, he's heard everybody roll their eyes and say, whenever the vote of confidence comes in, that's actually a bad sign. He's saying it's not a bad sign. Jason Garrett is his guy. He's going to coach the team, especially they were 13-3 last year. He's not going to lose sight of that. So it's a shame. I think they're very down and disappointed in Dallas because they feel like something was taken from them. And I think that it's clear by now, especially with what Philly's doing at the top of the division, there's no getting back into that. And they're just going to have to think about putting it back together for next year.
I've talked to a couple of different people over the last 2 days who've said they're willing to give Dak Prescott a full pass regarding his development this season as a result of what's happened with the offensive line, Ezekiel Elliott. Do you think that makes sense from an advancement?
But what did we say about the Vikings a minute ago? There's a lot more good than bad on the Dak Prescott resume. And when you have a young quarterback who's shown an ability to perform the way he has, who's given you what he's given you over this short period of time, and now you're making him play without his running back, his superstar running back, without his left tackle, or get for a little bit. I think there's a reasonable assessment to be made that says this guy's shown us a lot of good. Right now he's struggling. we can understand why he's struggling. Let's see how he fights his way through it. Let's see how he comes out on the other side from the struggle. Dak Prescott's shown us nothing to make us think that he won't handle this, that he won't improve from it, that he won't learn from it, that it won't get better. I think it's fair to give him a pass.
I would skip over Skins Giants simply because those are two irrelevant teams as far as I'm concerned. But I do want to ask you, as an aside, let's just say Kirk Cousins goes to another team next year. What do you think would actually be the best fit for him?
I think he could play anywhere, honestly. I mean, the best fit for him would be the Rams or 49ers, where his former coordinators are head coaches now. But I don't think those avenues are open to him anymore. Jared Goff has come on, and the Niners trade for Jimmy Garoppolo. So I think, I think Denver makes a lot of sense. I think, the Jets, if he wants to be part of a rebuild somewhere, Buffalo, these are teams that are going to be in the hunt for quarterbacks. But who's going to need a quarterback that you could convince yourself is ready to win? I mean, Minnesota, right? I mean, they all three of Minnesota's guys are unrestricted free agents. You don't know what's going to happen with them. And that's obviously a team that's got a lot of good pieces in place. So if he wants to go somewhere and win, if he wants to get the most money, then you got to hope that San Francisco opens back up or you go to Cleveland. But it depends what he ends up wanting, and we'll see. And then, Washington could keep him. That's not completely out of the question.
No, not at all. All right, last question, Dan. Obviously, we talked about the 3 Thanksgiving games or whatever, 2 of them that mattered. What about coming up this Sunday? What is the matchup you think you're looking forward to as far as, marquee stuff?
Want to see, the Rams and the Saints. I think the Rams need a bounce back, and with Seattle leaking a little bit, I think there's a chance for them to do some things. Saints are going to probably be playing without Marshawn Lattimore. The rookie cornerback has been so big for them this year, so maybe an opportunity for Sean McVay's crew to pick up a big win. Game I'll be covering for Sunday Countdown is Chiefs-Bills. Each of these teams has some major questions to answer. I mean, if the Chiefs can't win this one, then all of a sudden that AFC West is wide open if anybody wants to come take it. Chargers look like they do. Do the Raiders? We'll see if they wake up. And then Buffalo, how's Tyrod going to handle last week? Does he come back strong? Is he affected by everything that happened? It'd be hard to blame him if he was. So that's just 2 that jump to mind without having the whole schedule in front of me.
He's Dan Graziano. He's an ESPN NFL insider. Thanks for your time, Dan.
You got it, Clinton.
Today, I've got a piece coming out on The Undefeated, the top 25 blackest sports moments of 2017. Yes, I understand that Black Friday was not created to honor black people. I understand that it comes from retail. As somebody that has worked many a Black Friday in retail, trust me, your boy knows. But that ain't got nothing to do with me right now. I'm here to extol the virtues of my folks. Let's review. Mind you, the list we've gone down on the radio today has been the top 20. The top 25 is what's in the written piece that will be out later on theundefeated.com, if I didn't mention that before. Number 20, Savannah State, HBCU, first ever to win at Cheersport. Nigel Hayes takes on the NCAA while he's playing in the NCAA tournament. That's number 19. Number 18, Ibtihaj Muhammad, fencer for the U.S. Olympic team, gets her own likeness on a Barbie doll. Number 17, Oakley decides he wants to get serious on James Dolan at Madison Square Garden and then sues the team. Number 16, Sloane Stephens, after winning the U.S. Open, drops an incredible Instagram post with the caption, "Secure the bag." Number 15, a photograph of Chance the Rapper and Quavo of Migos shooting hoops. Great picture. Number 14, Carla Williams, named AD at UVA. Important for multiple reasons. Number 1, the first black woman to take such a job at a Power 5 conference. Number 2, Charlottesville, Virginia is where UVA is. Number 13, Jimmy Butler, come see me, dropping all of his digits for the nation to know. Ended up having to switch his number. Number 12, Myron Rolle, whose draft stock dropped in the NFL when teams figured out that he actually cared about something other than football. Oh, guess what? He's going to be a resident in neurosurgery. He completed medical school this year. Number 11, Gift Ngope, South African, went to high school in Joburg. First African-born player to make the bigs, and he got a hit in his first big league AB. That's pretty incredible with the Pirates. Kyle Lowry is at number 10, where when he was asked what he thought about President Trump's, quote, Muslim ban, he said, it's BS, and he didn't use those 2 letters. And when they asked him if he wanted to clean up his quotes, he said, nope, I'm good. Print it like that. Number 9, Brianna Scurry making the National Soccer Hall of Fame. Those of you who might remember her from the 1999 World Cup. Tremendous player. Tremendous addition to the U.S. Soccer Hall of Fame. Number 8, Claire Smith got the J.G. Taylor Spink Award at the Hall of Fame weekend this year. Trailblazer as the first woman to ever cover a full-time MLB beat. Number 7, Marshawn Lynch, which is being Marshawn Lynch. Number 6, Shannon Sharp, Miles in that yak. Don't front. Number 5, Obama leaving the White House created a couple good moments. Namely, Dexter Fowler hitting him up with a pair of custom J's. Number 4, LeVar Ball. I mean, come on. What are we talking about here? Number 3, Aqib Talib snatching chains off of Michael Crabtree. Very disrespectful and very hilarious at the same time. Number 2, Serena Williams. She just had a great year. And she would be number 1 atop this list if it weren't for one person. Look, y'all know who that person is. There's simply no way around this responsibly without talking about what's going on this year in terms of sports, in terms of America, and frankly in terms of the rest of the globe. It's Colin Kaepernick. You know, you can at me, you can say whatever you want. But the reality is that this man has changed the way we interact with our sports games as fans and frankly as citizens of this nation. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones almost lost his mind trying to deal with this. Folks were demonstrating outside of Roger Goodell's offices, the NFL headquarters. People are holding rallies across the country. The president is yelling about this guy, tweeting about this guy. Not that that's necessarily an exclusive club, but you see my point. You got hockey players demonstrating about the national anthem. 8-year-olds at Pop Warner football games demonstrating. Cheerleaders demonstrating. High school kids demonstrating. D3 football players demonstrating. Basketball players, men and women. Women started it first, demonstrating. You got German soccer players across the pond demonstrating before Bundesliga matches. And GQ named him the Citizen of the Year. No matter what you may think about what the purpose of his protest was, or no matter what you may think about whether or not pregame protests are an effective way to call attention to the abuse that black folks in America have to deal with from law enforcement and other institutionalized racist institutions, he's been effective for the simple reason that you are now forced to think about something that he called attention to. It's been effective. It's worked. It hasn't necessarily induced change yet. But again, sacrifice is not required for effective protest. Colin Kaepernick is easily the blackest moment in America in sports in 2017.